tonight, Tim?
Well, neither team really played with a ton of urgency for me. At least I didn't think so. I thought it was a good game of football. There was chances. There was goals. I agree with Robbie that Palace will definitely feel the better of the two teams. Obviously, when you're ahead at home, you want to finish the game off. Arsenal didn't do that. The problem is I think both teams, Arsenal going into PSG game in the Champions League and Palace going into the FA Cup semifinal, they'll both look at this and think, okay, we got through it pretty much injury-free. We got a point. Got another 90 minutes under our belt. The one thing for me, though, and I'm saying this just as a former professional, Saliba, that goal, the mistake that he made for the second goal, those are things that he's going to now have to fight against to get out of his system going into that PSG game. I've done that before. I've made a silly mistake, and you literally think you're the worst player in the world, and it takes the next couple days on the training ground and going into the next game and thinking, I hope I don't do that. That's the one stain on the game for me with Arsenal that I would say, unfortunately, that came out of it.
It's a good point that Tim makes, that you've got to get that out. You don't want to have a bad moment going into such a huge game. The other thing that I think is important that we should just point to is that Arsenal have drawn 13 games this season. That's the most in the Premier League. That's way more than anybody else in the top six. Most of those times, as today, they were leading a game and have got careless. And the bigger picture for Arsenal is winning titles. And if they're going to win titles, they have to do better jobs of seeing things out, of game management. And I look today, and again, we know the Champions League's important, but Tim's talking about some of the little things that crept into that performance that I wouldn't say are worrying, but certainly will need to be addressed. If this team are going to go on to win titles, they have to turn some of those draws into wins and have a bit more discipline and professionalism about the way they go about the business.
Yeah, arguably lack of focus on a couple of occasions is what allowed those Crystal Palace goals to be scored. So ultimately it was a draw at the Emirates tonight, and at the end it was all thanks to JP Mateta. Let's hear from him now.
Jean-Philippe, only one place to start with that goal of yours tonight. First and foremost, just how aware were you where David Raya was when you took hold of the ball?
Yeah, first of all, when I started on the bench, I just watched the first half. It was very high, and when I came in the pitch, I knew if we win the ball high, I know it will be in his goal, and I tried, and I scored.
Alan Smith, our co-commentator, described it as one of the very best goals of the Premier League season. Is that one of the very best goals that you've scored in your career?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Yeah.
Well, how aware were you that it was going in when you hit it? Did you know from the minute you hit it, it was on target?
No, I was scared the ball hit the crossbar, and I just wait until the end, and after the ball goes in. Yeah, I was happy.
Big games ahead for both teams coming into this match tonight. At times the game seemed a little bit pedestrian watching it from the sidelines, but in terms of performance tonight from Crystal Palace, how big was that performance in terms of your recent Premier League games?
Yeah, today we just stick on our plans, we struggled for the last 3 games. I don't think we scored. Yeah, we scored, but we lose. And we just listen to the gaffer, and today was a good game for us.
You've played Champions League semi-finalists tonight. At the weekend, you play Champions League quarter-finalists. Is this the perfect way now to go into that game?
I think we have confidence now, and hopefully we'll win this semi-final.
Just how big is the weekend for everybody, Jean-Philippe?
Yeah, it's a very good game for the fans, for us, for everybody, and I can't wait to be on Saturday.
Yeah, can't wait to get to Wembley for the FA Cup. But looking ahead to the weekend in the Premier League, there are fewer games due to those semi-finals with Crystal Palace against Aston Villa at Wembley on Saturday. But Chelsea will host Everton at 7:30 a.m. Eastern here on USA. Then it's 4 matches in the 10 o'clock window, including Newcastle against Ipswich Town. On Sunday, it's Bournemouth Manchester United at 9 a.m. Eastern before Liverpool host Spurs at 11:30 on Peacock, with an opportunity to win the Premier League title in front of a raucous home crowd at Anfield. Coming up on Goal Zone, we'll look back on today's match that Mateta swung with his late equaliser for Crystal Palace. So Arsenal ultimately settled for the draw, and the single point means Liverpool need only a draw themselves when they host Spurs on Sunday to win the Premier League title.
Great
presentation.
A lot of chances, and then at the end he scored 4 as well. So yeah, well done to everyone.
Obviously, had you lost here today, it would have handed the title to Liverpool if they win later on. How important was it for you all that you just keep pushing them?
Yeah, it's important for ourselves, I would say. We don't need to look at them. As you said, we wanted to win, to come here and win in the Premier League as well, and that's what we did. So yeah, we just need to keep going like this and take game by game.
Clearly, you've also got your eyes on a big prize in Europe in terms of the Champions League. How important is winning mentality and momentum now for Arsenal?
Yeah, very, I would say. We want to win every game, but you know how tough it is as well in the league. And yeah, it's a good win today, and we just need to keep pushing and going forward. There's another game on Wednesday, so they keep on coming.
But Arsenal have made Liverpool wait to lift the Premier League another week if they want the opportunity to win the Premier League trophy. Let's take a look at how the goals went in. Leandro Trossard got the ball rolling for Arsenal in this game, and they cruised all the way through it, Jamie.
Yeah, they did. It was far too easy.